My name is Robert Martin. I work with the Utica Schools as Chief of Staff, and I have had the honor and distinction of meeting these intelligent and bright and forthcoming young men and women to prepare them for this morning.
A little bit about a small background so you understand a little bit. I once went to a private school in Warren, and the technology at the time was still in a state where it was not to our standards today, where you could consider technology changing and so fastly moving. But as I moved, and my family moved to Macomb here, we transferred to the Utica Community Schools. The technology at my hands was tremendous. The way that we were presented with projects that dealt with whether it was using a movie production software, using podcasting software, presentations, all that really changed the way that I found myself interacting with students my age, and again presenting my thoughts to the teacher. And it's really amazing with online collaboration that the things that you can do are responded back to you just like that. One of the things that we use is turnitin.com for our English classes. And one of the cool features about it is peer mark, which is the ability for other students to make annotations to your work. And that really benefited me as a student to hear from peers my age where I could improve, because they understand because we're all in the same boat in the terms of our rigor in the class and all that necessary background for the curriculum. It was really nice to hear what someone of my age and my friends had heard about my writing. So I think sources of online communication are fabulous to hear. Quick response, accurate people from your own age, as well as turning it to the teacher to eliminate plagiarism and all that good stuff. But it's really neat to have these online sources of collaboration to communicate and compare your work with other students your age.
Schoology is one of the big programs for me online that helps me in my learning. Two of my classes use Schoology, and what Schoology is basically, it's teacher-based, it's not more peer-based. It's where the teacher can post the assignments and other additional information like the online book and other things like that. But really, Schoology helps me in that you can talk to the teacher, and you can also talk to your peers, and it can help you with problems that you need help on. It's a great way to transfer information to your teachers and your peers. It helps you have a more professional connection to the outside world, and it connects you to other people's perspectives on a question or problem.
In my med health class last year, we did a I guess you could say like a project where we actually got to watch an autopsy that was like videotaped, but it was live, and it was, I mean, to some people, I mean, they were like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. But to me, I found it so interesting, and it was like we were using technology because we could ask, like, there was the doctor that was there, we could ask them questions, and like the medical examiner. So it was a hands-on like experience with technology that we were able to learn from, and I just thought it was really neat. And I thought with technology we're able to use so many different types of learning. Like some people are visual learners versus some people use, like now there's Quizlet where you can do flashcards online. So I think that really helped, as well as in my marketing class we have different ways of presenting. We use Prezis, we use PowerPoint. I mean, there's so many new ways to present that gets your attention of everybody in the room. So I think those both impacted my learning.
At UCMST, which is the Utica Center for Math, Science, and Technology, during the last 3 weeks of our junior year, we're all required to have an internship in whatever field we choose. So I chose pediatrics and got to shadow 4 different doctors for 3 weeks. So that was really interesting, and it kind of shows you that what you're learning in the classroom actually applies, and it's not just like you need to memorize it for the test, but it's going to have real application in your life, and it motivates you to know that it's actually going to pay off and you're actually going to be able to use it.
At CSI, we had this robot from Planet Robotics, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They're the leading industry robotics manufacturer, actually. And we have a course. We're scheduled to take a course this year, our senior year, that will actually certify us to operate and work with Planet Robotics, which is actually in the industry. It's a pretty significant deal. We actually had one of our seniors last year graduate and went right into it. And with the FANUC certification, you're out of high school making about 60 grand a year. And like, even if that's a lot of money. And like, it is. And like, to be right out of high school and be able to do that, there's a lot of companies out there that are going to be wanting you, because there's people in college that don't even have that. And that at CSI and MST too, and IB and CTE programs, I mean, that's what it's about. It's getting that, what you're actually going to be using out of the classroom and actually applying it to something that's going to be relevant when you're doing what you want to do later in life.
For me, the top motivation for doing any of my homework, studying anything, is just to figure it out, just to learn, to discover truth in whatever way a 17-year-old can. I mean, I think students in high school very easily get bogged down with getting a 4.0 or getting over a 30 or over a 2,000 on the SAT. I mean, that's understandable, but I think that we shouldn't focus too much on that. I mean, I never look at getting the A as succeeding. To me, what matters more is that I understand how these chemicals in my body interact to produce me, not that I got a 96 in the test.
So, sometime in early college, I did not have many high school experiences because 11th grade I only had 3 hours, and 12th grade I only had 2 hours in the high school day. But me, I love college. Like, I don't know if many people do, but I love it. And the most like feedback I found that was like the best is, I think it was you that said school biology. Well, we use Angel on Macomb. I don't know about other campuses or whatever. But it's kind of like Schoolology, where like a professor can choose to use it, and then they can put their notes and their curriculum, and where you can have access it 24/7. So if you accidentally lose a paper, you can go and print it out. And I love taking tests online, and then right after you submit the test, you get the grade back. Or like,
One thing that like I'll never forget for as long as I live is football. And 2 years ago, well, actually, it started kind of 4 years ago. It was 4 or 5 years ago. We had a really good team. We're first in the state. We made it to the state championship. We lost, but we're still a good team. Then after that, we had 2 really down years where everybody lost faith in us. Our student section, our fans, everyone, like our stands were empty. And then finally last year, when they were juniors, they decided that they had enough. They didn't want any more of losing. They hated losing. I do too. And what they did was they worked so hard in the off season. Every day they were in their weight room. Every day they were working on any aspect that they could. And then finally it paid off. We won 6-3 in the regular season. And then we got to the playoffs, played a really good team who was Lake Orion. And we got smashed pretty badly, 35-0, but we won't talk about that. And after the game, it was one of the most emotional experiences of my life. And I'll never forget, this kid said, "Juniors, remember this feeling. Remember what it feels like, and use that." Because our off-season started the next day. And you take your failures and you just build from them. And you just keep working. Use that as a stepping stone. And I've heard numerous times from numerous different people, you learn more from losing than you do from winning, and it's true.